I sent Tay a video screen recording of how it is when I try to watch videos. Half the time, none of them work. You know, with my freaking phones. Both of them. Punks. That's why I don't get on many lives. Nor can I do live. They don't want me to get live. Lord knows. They ain't ready for that. Might break the internet. I wear it with honor. Fine. So be it. It makes no difference to me. For entertainment purposes only. I hope everybody slept well. You know, I wanted to spend a little time this morning on my testimony and things that I have went through and different comparables and parables to different walks in reference to it with the Bible. And not only for me, but for everyone, because everybody walks through hardships. Everybody walks through public rejection in different ways, some bigger than others. But everybody walks through hardships. And quite frankly, if you really think about it, all of the hardships you walk through are different hardships Jesus and the disciples walked through. They did indeed. And they were mocked, and they were targeted in different ways, and they were humiliated, you know. And that's why I wear it with such pride and honor when I go through such things. You know, I recognize it's a part of my path, it's a part of my purpose, it's a part of me to walk through these things, not only for different things for me to gain within myself when it comes to strength, resilience, wisdom, knowledge, humility, humbleness, right? Like I was watching online or on the TV about that family that got pardoned. I don't know much about it. You know, that one family that got pardoned, and Trump moved mountains so that they could. I appreciate that, you know. That's awesome. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for other targeted individuals too that are wrongfully accused, please? 222 on the clock. We would greatly appreciate it. You know, if you're going to do it for one, you got to do it across the board. You know, stand by what you mean and mean what you say. That's what I say. That's all I say. You know, don't pick and choose. It's all, you know, it's all strategic moves. It's all propaganda. It's just so crap too. It really is. Every life matters. Every heartbeat matters. Every freaking life, every heartbeat matters. No matter what your past looks like, no matter what your addictions look like, no matter where you're at in your status quo, no matter what your accolades are, your freaking heartbeat still matters. And I get so sick and tired of people picking and choosing what heartbeats to stand for. You know? Like, it's just... And then we wonder why we live in a world full of darkness, chaos, and deceit. Well, when we live in a world that is now promoting and exploiting particular heartbeats, because I look at people as a heartbeat. Everybody's got a heartbeat, and a heartbeat matters, right? So when you exploit different heartbeats for personal gain or personal things that you did to hide your things, yeah, it's a little bit bad. You know, it's a little bad. That's not the road that you want to be on when it comes to darkness. I can tell you that. It's not going to lead you down good roads. You know, whether you believe there's an afterlife or not, what you need to ask yourself is what kind of life you want to live while you're here on earth. You know what I mean? Yeah. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Obviously. Right? And whether you believe there's an afterlife or not, at the end of the day, what kind of life do you want to live here on earth? And when you sow seeds like that, it gets in your mind. It plays mind tricks on you, right? And it takes you away from finding the peace and joy and happiness inside your mind, because you're sowing seeds like that, and you have to spend your days conjuring up different lies and schemes and plots to hide those seeds you sowed. And so it's just a domino effect, and that's why you find yourself living in a life here on earth that's not peaceful, it's not joyful, it's definitely not heaven on earth, because you're too busy going against heartbeats. You can't go against heartbeats. You have to embrace heartbeats. You have to embrace love. You have to embrace unconditional love for everyone, with duality, with humility, with humbleness, not with agendas. Not with agendas. So that said, number 1, false accusations and public rejection. Your experience. You were blacklisted, falsely portrayed by employers, shut out of systems, and painted with narratives that didn't reflect the truth. Biblical parallel. Jesus before the Sanhedrin. Mark 14:55 through 59. Jesus was falsely accused by religious leaders, even though the witnesses could not agree. He was judged and condemned by those who felt threatened by his truth and authority. That part, for entertainment purposes only, take away with what resonates. Again, I carry Jesus and God at the highest level. I feel honored in different ways to have a storyline so comparable to them. And that's where I know that there's such a big, broader magnitude to it. And the thing is even if your story is maybe not to the extent as mine is, you can still take bits and pieces of your story and compare it to Jesus's and understand why your life is so important. And that's what I'm trying to get at with this video. And I hope that it resonates. Digital censorship and silencing of testimony. And for all of those out there battling the same thing, because there's tons out there, this one's for you too. We got to stand together. Your experience. Faith-based content removed, accounts banned, critical documents deleted and altered despite your intention to uplift, warn, and guide. Biblical parallels. Stephen's testimony. Acts 7:54 through 60. Stephen spoke boldly, calling out corruption, spiritual blindness. Instead of being heard, he was stoned, silenced not for wrongdoing, but the truth that convinced hearts. You just have to keep pushing through. You really do. Don't allow the conditionings of the world to make you feel any less than what you are. Because the conditionings of the world will do such things, particularly for the middle class and the poverty. It just will. And if you don't agree, then you don't agree. And I understand that. But for me, that's how I feel. And I'm pretty certain that there's a lot of people out there that feel that same way. They keep trying, they keep trying, and they keep trying, and they keep trying, and they keep coming up short. We have lack of resources, we have lack of money, we have lack of benefits across the board. Across the board. And you can dabble into getting some money, but you have to sell different portions of how your ethics and your morals and your values run in your personality. You have to learn how to do things their way, and you like it, and you shish, and then you make a little money. You see? And that's the conditionings we're in, and nobody can tell me otherwise. And if you don't agree with me, I understand. Again, my testimony, my purpose, my experiences and my beliefs, and you don't have to agree with me. You really don't. And I respect you. So please respect me. Respect is a give and take. Targeted surveillance, betrayal, and watch listing. Your experience. People close to you, close workers, friends, even family, collaborated in ways that manipulated your child and job opportunities and legal rights. That part. Back in October, I've made videos about this. When I resigned from my job back in October 2023, that same week I went to the doctors, got this indention on my back, and then from that point forward, my life has been just straight chaos, corruption, targeting, and all fronts. Every front of my life. Personal, business, with my child, friendships, relationships, every experience at doctor's offices, every experience dealing with the public. Every experience, and I see it now. Every freaking experience. There's not been an experience in my life that hasn't been corroborated or corrupted. And it's just one of those things. And now I'm to a place where it just doesn't even bother me, even though I know it's happening around me. It's like, whatever. I still look at people's heartbeats. I look past the mask. I look past the veil. And you have to get to a place where you do those things within yourself, because at this point in this world that we live in, all you can control is your eyes, your vision, your heart. and what you see in people. And you can choose to see the good in people even when people just don't see it in themselves.